Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rob and I am coming to you today from Thailand talking about dividend stocks. In particular, we're going to be talking about SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research and make your own decisions. But I'm seeing all over the internet lately people talking about the demise of SCHD, and I have to say, I just don't think a lot of these people understand what SCHD is, why it might be in your portfolio, and why I think it is possibly a good buy right now for people who are retirees or going to be looking to retire in the near future. So I'm going to go over all that with you today. Let's jump right in and talk about the very number one thing that people are complaining about with SCHD. And that is that the returns on this ETF have been very muted lately. I'm going to throw up the chart here along with this infographic about SCHD. And you can see that after 2021, it had a really big run up in 2021. That was the best year it's ever had. It has been fairly flat for all of 2022, all of 2023, 2024, 2025, 4 years. It's been a relatively flat return. Now, you did get the dividend through all those years, so you weren't getting nothing, and it did go up some, but it has not kept pace with stocks like Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, things like this. And I think that's where a lot of the trouble comes from. People talking about, well, SCHD has lost kind of its way. They're comparing it to stocks that are in the tech field that have done much better, and that is never what this stock was intended to be. So if this stock has been, if this ETF has been flat for roughly the last 4 years, isn't that exactly when you want to be buying? You don't want to be buying things that have shot up and are now overvalued. You want to be buying undervalued ETFs, undervalued stocks, and that is exactly what this represents right now. You look at a lot of the PEs of stocks that are in some of these momentum ETFs or just momentum stocks, growth stocks, they are very, very high at the moment. These not so much. So I think you have to look back to the old adage, which is very simple: buy low, sell high. This has not done well for 4 years. That means it's still low, and you might have to consider, is this something that you want to put in your portfolio? Certainly, I would not be selling this just because it has not done well in the past. You maybe have held this now for 4 years, and you're going to sell it right before it does well in the future. That's not a good strategy. So if you have SCHD and you're worried about it, you're watching this video because you don't know what to do with it, should you keep it? Should you not keep it? Look, you've held it all this time. There's good companies in there. This is not a bad ETF. Now, I wouldn't have it be your total portfolio, but this is not an ETF that I would be dumping, because SCHD was never designed to be a momentum ETF. It's not filled with momentum stocks, not filled with high growth stocks, and therefore it is doing exactly what it was intended to do right now. You bought this for a reason, and it is fulfilling that reason. Just because it's not fulfilling the reasons of other stocks or other ETFs, that does not mean it is not doing its job in your portfolio. It is definitely doing its job. Its job is to give you a 3.8 to 4% dividend, help you sleep well at night, and to be safe, and to be kind of this anchor of your portfolio that you can count on when troubled times come. Now, we haven't had a ton of troubled times recently. We have had some pretty good dips, but no major recessions or anything like that. And SCHD has done its job, but it's just not going to fare as well as some other stocks in the environment we've had for the last couple of years. And so that is why it seems like right now to a lot of people, SCHD isn't good, but it is still just the same old reliable ETF doing the same old reliable things that it's always done. Paying you your dividend, not losing value, helping you sleep well at night. What I think people miss, though, is that SCHD should be a portion of your portfolio. You need to be, as they say, barbelling your portfolio, which means if you've got a lot of risk on one side, you want the other side to be safety, and it's the safety side. So if you're invested in NVIDIA, you're invested in Palantir, all these things on this side, this is the other side. When these go down, this is going to balance it out. And so you don't want to have the situation where you're putting 100% of your investments into something like SCHD, because you will lag behind other things with your total return. But that doesn't mean there is no place for SCHD in your portfolio, because there most certainly is. And when I look at whether this is something I want to dump or get rid of, an ETF is only as good as the companies that make it up. So let's look at what companies are in this ETF. Now, if they're all in trouble, there's bad companies in here, then certainly we would want to sell this ETF. So you have to look at the makeup of the ETF and the top 10 holdings right here. We're looking at top 8 is Merck, Amgen, Cisco, Abbvie, Coke, Bristol Myers, Pepsi, and Chevron. Now, when I look at this list of companies, there are several healthcare companies, 2 beverage companies, energy, and Cisco. That's in the top 8. This has just been a bad year for this ETF because those companies are all basically in the most unfavored sectors of the market. But as we all know, markets rotate, and this market will eventually rotate as well. So I would not want to be selling this before something good happened to these companies. Are these companies in trouble? Are these companies that are not doing well, are not going to do well in the future? No, these are fine companies, and they're all doing fine. So it's not a situation where I'm worried about them at all, and I don't think that it's a situation that most investors need to worry about. The thing that really makes this ETF stand out for me, you look at this right here. Their best year, 2021, up 29.87%. And that's what happened, is that in 2021, SCHD shot up so far that it got out of its skis. And now it is taking time to consolidate with what happened there. And it also set the benchmark for people's expectations very high. And there was no way that an ETF that's a dividend ETF could match that performance basically anytime, but it's not going to do that every year. It's rarely ever going to do that. That's a once in a 20-year occurrence for a dividend ETF to go up 29.87%. That's why it's the highest of the last 20 years. But what's really interesting, next to that, look here, the worst year, 2018. So out of the last 20 years, the worst performance was a negative 5%. That is not bad at all. That is why this is still the sleep well at night ETF, because you know this is not the type of ETF that you're going to be losing 30-40% of your value on the market. The dividend is still paying 3.83%, and it is considered a very safe ETF. So I think the other thing is that what gives you peace of mind with SCHD is that they are switching out the companies as they need to every single year. And you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about what's in it. They're going to do that for you, and they're just going to automate that, and it's going to be done for you. So I think a lot of the fear that goes into the markets and that's been talked about with SCHD lately is way overblown. I'm actually looking to add more to this, to the part of my portfolio that I want to be the safe part, that I want to be that end of the barbell that balances out the fact that, as I've said on this channel before in previous videos, we do own NVIDIA, we do own Google, we do own all of these things that are also a little more risky, a little more momentum, a little more growth. You want to have things like SCHD to balance that out. So we are definitely not selling. We are definitely in the market to be buying SCHD. We will probably be buying more, and I hope that this video has been helpful for you. Hopefully, if you've been worried about your investment, it will give you a little bit of peace of mind that other people are still holding on to their SCHD. I think so many people just got so up in arms over what the performance has been in the last couple of years that it did prompt a lot of people to make videos and talk about the fact that they're just going to get rid of this ETF, when in reality there's not a lot of great reasons to just go ahead and dump this if you've been holding it all this time. So again, I wouldn't let it make up 50%, 75%, 100% of your portfolio, but it does have a place in your portfolio. Guys, I hope this video has been helpful to you. We are going to be talking about all kinds of different dividend investments, strategies, and actually also how we live off dividends as we travel the world full-time in retirement. So if that's of interest to you, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next video.